I believe Liberty Me donated $10,000 to the School for the Deaf. They're building a new wing of the school, a whole new building, and they are interested in raising the funds to help make that happen. The School for the Deaf was one of the schools that Liberty Me partnered with. I know it's partnered with CASA, which is a performing arts school in Harrisburg. So Liberty Me was fortunate enough to get involved, donate some money to the School for the Deaf, and they sent an ambassador to Liberty Me to teach some of the kids about sign. Interesting thing about sign language, 90% of deaf students live in homes where their parents do not sign, which means that they are alone. They are in silence. A lot of times these kids don't want to go home for the holidays. In some cases, that's not the case, but in others, these kids, the school is their place of refuge because there are other people that are deaf who can sign, who they can communicate with. A lot of these kids go home on the holidays, sit at the Thanksgiving or the Christmas or the Hanukkah, whatever table they're sitting at, and they're alone. No one's speaking to them because no one knows how. And, not only deaf awareness, but learning sign is huge. Learning sign language is pivotal for these kids and for the people around them. So, the School for the Deaf is a K through 12th grade school in Philadelphia. It's in a historic part of the city. It rests in Germantown and has been there for many, many years. So Liberty Me was able to partner with the School for the Deaf, bring an ambassador who, was hard of hearing, could hear a little bit and speak a little bit, but mostly deaf. And he was able to work with the kids, teach them sign, let them learn the alphabet, how to spell their name, and, open them up to the realities of what some people out here are facing.
My name is Bob. I'm not hearing. I'm not hearing. I am deaf. Deaf? What do you mean by deaf? I can't hear. I can speak okay, but I don't speak well like you. Do you speak through your mouth? How are you? Deaf children, deaf adults can't speak well. What do? They use their hands to communicate. You want to be a dancing star?
Right.
So there, 2 fingers up like this. 1, 2, 3.
None of us knew it was happening until the day it happened. He came in, and it was actually really interesting to watch the kids. They weren't expecting it when they came in. They kind of got thrown into the class, but they really started to get excited about trying to learn it. To see which of them could figure out the sign language first. I know some of them had sign language in school, either elementary school or preschool, and so they did have some of them had a little bit of a head start, but for the most part they were all on the same page, and they tended to enjoy it. It was interesting to see them trying to figure out how to spell their name and go through all the motions, and they actually paid really good attention that day, probably better than they did to their normal instructors. I think having the presentation from a School for the Deaf did bring to the attention to some of the boys that there were people who couldn't hear music, who couldn't hear the rhythm with their ears and had to think of other things and other ways, who they realized that deaf people can hear with their body, can create rhythm and don't necessarily rely, because they can't rely on their ears. They find other ways around, but are still able to feel rhythm and the movement. It was eye-opening for the boys, for sure.
Now, can't go, not your thumb. That means me. All about me. Not about you. My. That's the difference. My and me.
Meaning, you gotta stop doing I see you.
You can't do Tom that well. Do it again.
Oh my gosh.
Patriots of Philadelphia?
They spoke at the recital at the end of the year, and I also went to the School for the Deaf and taught dance classes on a couple mornings. So we brought some teachers from Liberty Me to Germantown, and we all taught at the School for the Deaf and got funky with the kids. You know, these kids might not be able to hear, but they can feel the vibrations and they can feel the beat, the rhythm shaking through the floor. So, you know, working with them was amazing. It was absolutely amazing because a lot of them could already dance, had moves of their own. So for them to, you know, see what we're doing and teach us was awesome. So, you know, we went there to teach them all of our new moves and everything we were about, but in turn we learned a lot from the students there as well. So very cool stuff.
Today's your big day. A day so special, so significant, so timeless, that every second needs to be captured with precision. And that's exactly why we do what we do. To make sure that your big day lasts forever. Film and photography, timeless. Tired of waiting for your buyers to find the right home? Let them experience your listing with a cinematic video from Abode Visuals. Abode Visuals. Sell quick.
The class started with Twist and I teaching. I've known Twist most of my life. Twist grew up in the same neighborhood as I did. He, you know, was interested in dance early on. He was a part of Versatile Dance Crew. It was a crew in Philly several years back, very popular. They toured, they did a lot of stuff around this country, opened up for a lot of hip hop acts, and were backup dancers for them. I know they spent a lot of time, months overseas in Europe, a lot of time in London dancing. So, you know, I grew up around Twist, who was constantly b-boying, constantly dancing, and I kind of, you know, picked little bits that I could imitate, saw what other people were doing, and kind of self-taught myself and followed in Twist's footsteps, you know, and eventually we started teaching together. So Twist, you know, not only is a b-boy, he's also a producer. He composes and arranges music and does a lot of beat production for all different types of music, and continues to teach and work in the classroom environment with myself. So the two of us and Joe Pizzi are really trying to push it forward and push the limits and see what we can do.
Ready? 5, 6, 7, 8. 1. Okay, well remember, you gotta do this part first. It's 1, 2. Then down and around. Alright, who else can do it? You got it? Let me see, Hudson. 1 and 2 and down and around. Okay, you got it down and around. Why is nobody doing this for me? No one's going like this. It's just this way, like this. Let me see. Who else thinks they can do it? 1, 2, 3, B-boy! Yeah!
I've been teaching at Liberty Me for 3 years. It's been an exciting road, a lot of different kids, some of which, you know, have been there all 3 years and are still continuing to hone their skills. Others have come and gone. Some have even moved to other studios in other areas and worked with different b-boy teachers, which I do encourage. You know, everyone's going to pick up moves from different people, see what fits their style. So it's exciting though. So we're about to open our 4th year, and I'm excited to see what happens. Our past show themes were The Wall, Glow Green, Sneaker Game, Smart Mob, Speakeasy. We've had a lot of different shows. They've been great. This year coming up, we're excited to see what the theme will be and what the music will be, see how we're going to choreograph moving forward. What's going on, world? You're watching the Music Video Cypher. I'm your host, Alex Faven.
Music Cypher.
My favorite dance is hip hop because it has like good music and I feel free. My favorite moves when I break dance are handstands, headstands, and coffee grinders. I cannot wait to see my friends at dance class.
Since the class itself is primarily 6 to 10-year-olds, it's always a little tough to read them. They tend to have a lot of energy. They tend to be very exuberant, often over-exuberant, a little bit of lack of focus at times. But you can tell that they love what they're doing, and you can tell that they're really enjoying it. They love the freedom that it brings, is the main thing I see. And I watch the kids, they work really hard trying to learn what they're taught.
We're so vocal, there's so much yelling and screaming, and these kids are little, so there's a lot of quieting everybody down and lining everybody back up and getting them to pay attention, but to, work.
My favorite aspect is just hanging out with the kids. I think that's the best thing, to just show up and have the kids see you and get excited and, start interacting. It's cool.
My favorite part about Liberty Me is seeing the teachers and dancing. I saw all of our friends dance, so I wanted to try. So in California, I started to dance. When I first started dancing, I was about 3 years old. The kind of dance I started when I was 3 years old was hip hop. It feels free. It feels like I'm free. I think I would like to dance for the rest of my life.
Unfortunately, with the size of the classes, during the classes themselves, there's not a lot of time for individual instruction. It's almost entirely group dynamic. It's trying to occasionally maybe break the class down into a couple smaller groups of boys to work on particular movements with just 4 or 5 of them at a time, as opposed to the usual 10 to 12 all at once. Again, especially with that age group, it's really tough to keep them focused long enough to actually catch on and to learn it quickly. As they get older, they definitely pick up the moves quicker. But where they are now, it takes a little longer. And the hardest part with that age group also is when you broken it into smaller groups, the group that's not participating at the moment, they're not the best waiters. They don't really know how to not do something for very long. They're always fidgeting and moving and talking, and so it can be disruptive. It's almost easier to try to teach the whole class at once.
I have a lot of different hopes for the kids. I want them to understand the music. I want them to understand the culture. I want them to understand just basic rhythm and movement, because some of these kids are really young and they come in and they can't even keep a beat or sway their body back and forth. So to even understand the movement, understand the beat, and how to shift their weight, that's where it begins. It's as simple as that, but it grows, and it's a lot of movements, a combination of gymnastics and martial arts and dance have all kind of come together to form what is B-Boy. So my hope is that everyone can find what their own personal style is and run with it. Embrace their style, embrace what they succeed at, and incorporate that into their movement. I'm also there to teach confidence in team building.
When I grow up, I want to be a b-boy.